Benito Mussolini's ascent to power was not just a matter of charisma and rhetoric. He utilized a range of lesser-known tactics to cement his position. One key strategy was his adept use of violence through the Blackshirts, a paramilitary group that intimidated and eliminated political opponents. Mussolini's manipulation of the electoral process also played a significant role. He passed laws that skewed the democratic system in his favor, such as the Acerbo Law of 1923. Furthermore, Mussolini's ability to co-opt influential social groups was crucial. He garnered the support of the industrial and agricultural elites by promising stability and protection from socialism. By aligning with these powerful sectors, he secured the financial and logistical backing necessary for his regime to thrive. Through speeches, carefully staged public appearances, and control over the media, Mussolini projected an image of invincibility and competence. Mussolini's political journey was marked by a dramatic transformation. Born in 1883, he initially embraced socialism, influenced by his father, a passionate socialist. In his early years, Mussolini was a fervent advocate for workers' rights and was even jailed for his radical activities. The outbreak of World War I marked a turning point in Mussolini's ideology. He broke away from socialism, advocating for Italy's involvement in the war. This shift alienated him from his socialist comrades but opened new opportunities. Mussolini began to see the potential of nationalism and militarism as unifying forces. After the war, Italy was in disarray. Economic strife, political instability, and social unrest created a fertile ground for radical solutions. Mussolini seized this moment, founding the Fascist Party in 1919. By positioning himself as the savior of Italy, ready to restore order and national pride, Mussolini capitalized on the prevailing discontent. The post-World War I period in Italy was characterized by severe economic and social turmoil. Inflation soared, unemployment rates skyrocketed, and widespread strikes paralyzed industries. Mussolini exploited this chaos to his advantage. He presented himself as a dynamic and decisive leader capable of restoring stability and prosperity. His promises of strong leadership and economic reform resonated with a population desperate for change. Furthermore, Mussolini capitalized on the fear of communism. The Russian Revolution had created a global fear of socialist uprisings, and Italy was no exception. Mussolini positioned himself as the bulwark against communism, attracting the support of the middle class, landowners, and industrialists. The Italian government was fragmented and weak, with frequent changes in leadership and coalition governments unable to enact effective policies. Mussolini's promise of a strong centralized authority appealed to many who were frustrated with the inefficiency and instability of the current system. This support was crucial in his eventual seizure of power. Propaganda was a cornerstone of Mussolini's regime. He understood the power of media in shaping public perception. His regime controlled newspapers, radio, films, and art to spread fascist ideology. Mussolini's image was a key propaganda tool. He was portrayed as the embodiment of Italian strength. Images of him in athletic activities and speeches were widespread. The educational system was targeted for propaganda. Schools indoctrinated youth with fascist ideals. Youth organizations trained children in fascist principles. These efforts created a cult of personality around Mussolini. Mussolini's foreign policies were marked by aggression and expansionism. One of Mussolini's early ventures was the invasion of Ethiopia in 1935. The conquest was brutal, involving chemical weapons and mass atrocities. The international community condemned the invasion, leading to sanctions. Mussolini's alliance with Nazi Germany had significant consequences. This alliance dragged Italy into World War II, for which it was unprepared. Military failures in Greece and North Africa highlighted Italy's weaknesses. Food shortages, bombings, and defeats eroded public support for Mussolini. His aggressive policies led to economic hardship and military defeat. The turning point in Mussolini's reign came during World War II. Italy's military campaigns were disastrous. By 1943, Allied forces had invaded Italy. The Italian populace turned against Mussolini. On July 25, 1943, the Grand Council of Fascism voted to depose Mussolini. This marked the beginning of the end for the fascist regime. Hitler freed Mussolini, installing him as head of a puppet state. Mussolini was captured and executed on April 28, 1945. Mussolini's fall from power was dramatic and violent. Mussolini's regime left a profound impact on Italy, shaping its political, social, and economic landscape for decades. His rule was marked by significant infrastructural developments, such as the construction of roads, bridges, and public buildings. These projects aimed to modernize Italy and stimulate economic growth. However, the human cost of Mussolini's policies was immense. His aggressive pursuit of power led to widespread repression, with thousands of political opponents imprisoned, exiled, or executed. The regime's involvement in World War II resulted in countless civilian casualties and immense suffering. Mussolini's impact extended to Italian society and culture. His promotion of fascist ideals permeated every aspect of life, from education to the arts. The regime's emphasis on nationalism and militarism fostered a culture of conformity and suppression of dissent. This legacy of authoritarianism left deep scars on the Italian psyche. Despite his initial promises of greatness, Mussolini's rule ultimately brought destruction and suffering to Italy. The rise and fall of Mussolini offer important lessons for contemporary politics. One key lesson is the danger of charismatic leaders who exploit social and economic turmoil to gain power. Mussolini's ability to capitalize on the fears and frustrations of the Italian people underscores the need for vigilance in times of crisis. Another lesson is the role of propaganda in sustaining authoritarian regimes. Mussolini's meticulous control of information and his cultivation of a cult of personality demonstrate how propaganda can be used to manipulate public perception and maintain power. This highlights the importance of a free and independent press in safeguarding democracy. Mussolini's aggressive foreign policies also serve as a warning about the perils of unchecked ambition on the international stage. His reckless pursuit of territorial expansion led to war and devastation. Finally, Mussolini's downfall illustrates the vulnerability of authoritarian regimes. By reflecting on Mussolini's rule, we can better understand the dynamics of authoritarianism and the measures needed to prevent its recurrence. The era of Mussolini holds several warnings for modern politics. One significant warning is the ease with which democratic institutions can be eroded. Mussolini's rise to power was facilitated by a series of legal and political maneuvers that undermined democratic processes. This serves as a reminder of the need to protect and strengthen democratic institutions against authoritarian encroachments. Economic instability remains a potent catalyst for political extremism. Just as Mussolini exploited economic turmoil to gain support, contemporary leaders may similarly manipulate economic crises to justify authoritarian measures. This highlights the importance of addressing economic inequalities and ensuring economic stability to prevent the rise of demagogic leaders. The role of media in shaping political narratives is another critical lesson. Mussolini's use of propaganda demonstrates the power of media in influencing public opinion. In today's digital age, the spread of misinformation and the manipulation of social media platforms pose significant threats to democratic discourse. The rise of nationalism and xenophobia in contemporary politics echoes the sentiments that Mussolini capitalized on. Recognizing these parallels is essential in promoting inclusive and tolerant societies. Reflecting on Mussolini's rise and fall provides valuable insights into the dynamics of power, manipulation, and resistance. His journey from socialism to fascism, his exploitation of societal turmoil, and his ultimate downfall underscore the complexities of authoritarian rule and its impact on society. Mussolini's tactics, particularly his use of propaganda and aggressive foreign policies, illustrate the dangers of unchecked ambition and the manipulation of public perception. His legacy of repression and conflict serves as a stark reminder of the human and social costs of authoritarian governance. The lessons drawn from Mussolini's era are crucial in safeguarding modern democracy. Protecting democratic institutions, ensuring economic stability, upholding media integrity, and promoting inclusive societies are essential in preventing the recurrence of authoritarianism. By learning from history, we can better shape a future that upholds the values of justice, equality, and human rights. In conclusion, The iron grip of Mussolini serves as both a cautionary tale and a call to action. By honoring these lessons, we can work towards a more just and equitable world.